Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to film a bronzy day look, so I hope you enjoy. So I'm starting off with the Too Faced Hangover Primer, and what I love about this primer is that it's really moisturizing. It keeps my face looking nourished throughout the day, and then just to minimize the appearance of my pores, I like to use the Professional in my T-zone. Then, spritzing my beauty blender with the Urban Decay setting spray just to dampen it, I use that to blend in my foundation. I use my favourite foundation ever, which is the L'Oreal True Match, and I always go back to this foundation only because it's so lightweight and it's so full coverage. And if you're wondering what shade I use, I'm in Golden Beige. To prime the lids to help the shadows stay on for longer, I use the Too Faced Shadow Insurance Eye Primer, and I just blended that in with my finger. To set the primer, I use the Too Faced Natural Matte Palette and the shade Heaven, which is kind of like a base colour, just so that the rest of the shadows blend out later on. Now I'm using the shade Honey Butter in my crease, and I'm using the Morphe S12 brush. Then you get your other girl a show, tell her you gon' call her, ask how it was, and she's gon' love it. So I'm taking the shadow across my crease and in the outer V of my eye to give myself a more cat eye shape. So now I'm switching to this amazing palette by Zoeva, and it's called the Caramel Melange palette. The colours in here are so amazing and so pigmented, so for the price range I seriously recommend it. I'm taking the shade Finish Sensual in my crease, just below the first shadow that I popped on, and this will help darken the eye look. So this pigment I'm using on my lid is from the Morphe 35T palette, and it's just a bronzy glittery shade that I used with the S28 brush by Morphe. And here I'm just packing it all over the lid. Now I'm just taking a charcoal shade on the top lash line to give my eye more dimension, and I use this one from this old Revlon palette that I own, and it's called the 505 palette. Now for my favourite part, I took this orange and red shade from that same Zoeva palette I used before, and I just went across my lash line, going a little over the charcoal shade that I popped on, just so that they blend nicely. Now to conceal and highlight, I used my favourite concealer ever, which is the Maybelline Fit Me, and I used the shade Light. And to blend that all out, I used my beauty blender. You ain't looking at no other dudes 'cause you love me. I'm sorry, baby. So you think about a chance, you find yourself trying to do my dance, maybe 'cause you love me. We tried. To set under my eyes, I used the Rimmel Matte Perfection Loose Powder, and it was actually my first time using it and I loved it. It didn't crease and it even gave me a bit of a highlight. You should stop frontin', babe. 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 You should stop frontin'. Whoa, whoa. contour and add some colour to my face, I went back to the AC On Tour palette by Australis. I haven't used this in the longest time ever, but going back to it, it was actually really good. So I used that to warm up the outer perimeter of my face, and I used the Morphe S13 brush, which is the best for contouring. I took that same orangey shadow and I put that under my lower lash line to even out the eye look. And then I used that same charcoal colour on the outer third of the bottom lash line.
Because you weren't used to how fast we touched. Then we locked eyes. And I knew I wasn't there and I was gonna tear your ass up. I know that I'm carrying on. Never mind if I'm showing off. I was just frontin'.
For blush, I use the Too Faced blush in I Will Always Love You, and it's just a really nice peachy matte shade. I don't do too much to my brows, but I did brush them out and I added some colour to the sparse areas. I took this stick highlighter by Nude by Nature and I made sure I dabbed that into my skin with my beauty blender. For mascara, I use the L'Oreal Telescopic, and then for lashes, I use the Allure in 116, which gave me a lot of length. And lastly, for lips, I use the Stila Stay All Day Liquid Lipstick in the shade Caramello. I love this shade, only because I'm really fair and to find the perfect nude is so hard, but this shade is seriously so good. And voila, all done. So I hope you guys liked this look. If you did, be sure to like, comment and subscribe because there's definitely going to be more videos up this year.